Hi, welcome to my channel, Minutes with Misa, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you decided to take the time and watch. I appreciate you. If this is your first time watching, welcome. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to the family. Anyway, how you guys doing today? I hope you are doing awesome. I'm doing great myself. So how you guys doing in self-quarantine? You okay? You doing good? You ready to leave the house? Well, in Georgia, you probably know we already doing this opening. I think Friday started opening up like salons and stuff like that. But personally, I think it's too soon. It's too early. I think they should wait on it. But just because they said it's okay doesn't mean that we have to go out and do it. So yeah, so a lot of us, we're still like, no, we'll wait until we think and believe that it is safe to go out and go to those places. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, welcome to Minutes with Misa. And this what I'm going to start talking to about. Hope you guys will stick around. This is going to be very interesting. I'm going to dive into relationships, and this is sort of like an intro. I'm not going to discuss all the things that I want to discuss at this moment because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's so much to dive into. So this is going to be, I'm thinking maybe I should do some of this live. I think live would be great, especially if I could get some people to interact, because I want to hear what you think about some of the things that I'm going to be talking about. Anyway, so yeah, so anyway, I just tell you, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share. I really appreciate it. Sharing is caring. But anyway, so yeah, so what I'm going to talk about relationships, I'm going to, like I said, this is the intro. I'm not going to be able to talk about all the things that I want to talk about. You know, I want to get into, we'll talk about dating, friendship, marriage. So yeah, this is a new series that I'm going to start, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm not an expert, so hopefully we can learn from each other. Anyway, so one of the things I'm going to be talking about in relationships, we're going to talk about differences, similarities, and how important it is in relationships. Like from biblically, we know, talk about being unequally yoked, how important it is for people to have the same beliefs. As we also know from Amos 3:3, how can two people walk together if they're not in agreement? It's hard to walk with someone if you're not in agreement with them, because you want to go left, they want to go right. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about, like I said, being unequally yoked and what that means. We talk about, because we know in reading, those of us who grew up in the church, we know, especially if you read the Bible, you read about intermarriage and how God forbid intermarriage with, his children, the Israelites. He was like, don't marry these people, like the Moabites, the Edomites, and those other ites. There's a lot of them, they're not supposed to intermarry with, because the whole idea is like, if you marry them, they're going to turn you away from me. You're going to start worshiping their gods and so forth. And so it was prohibited. It was forbidden. It was like, do not marry them. Of course, they did anyway, and the results was disastrous. And a lot of people and like a lot of times people would go and they would read things and they would try to twist it to fit their belief and their ideas. Like, there are a lot of people who read about how God forbid intermarriage, and they would take it to say, oh, he's talking about interracial marriage, to make those people who are in a marriage or want to get married, say, oh, you're wrong, you shouldn't do it, God is against it. But that's not what God was talking about. He is more concerned about the heart and the inside than he is concerned about the outside. So I want to clear that up. I know a lot of people, that's what a lot of people say, who are against such marriages. They say, well, it's in the Bible. No, that's not what forbidden intermarriage, that's not what that is about. It's a heart thing, like I said. God is more concerned about the heart. He's more concerned about what's going on your inside instead of what's going on the outside. So it was not, so you cannot use that to speak against interracial marriage, which a lot of people do. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that too. But basically, like I said, the whole idea of intermarriage or not to end the marriage is like, don't marry or date and get involved with someone who doesn't have the same type of belief system as you do. Because, like I said, like they can pretty much turn you away from what you believe in. I mean, that happened. It happened like even with like someone like King Solomon. You know, he was chosen by God. He was he worshipped God, and you know he married a lot of strange women. And in the end, he ended up turning away from God because he started serving idols. King Solomon of all people. So it's so easy, and it happened a lot, where the Israelites and people who worship God, they were married people who worship pagans, you know, who were paganistic and worship idols, and they end up turning against God, end up worshiping idols themselves. So there was a reason why he said do not intermarry, because he knew what would happen, and it did happen. And that's why you shouldn't be unequally yoked with unbelievers, because the same thing can happen. It's like, just imagine, you're like, and I'm not saying being unequally yoked doesn't really have anything to do with, like, certain differences. Like, for instance, it's okay to marry someone who doesn't always believe exactly in the same way, things that you believe. I'm not talking about spiritual things, I'm talking about other things. Like, even like likes. It's okay to marry someone who doesn't like exactly the same thing that you like. That's not unequally yoked. Like, for instance, if you like to listen to country music, that's all you like, or whatever, you know, it's okay if you date or get married to someone who can't stand country music. That's okay. That's okay. That's not being unequally yoked. You know, so that's not it. And as a matter of fact, I feel like sometimes maybe when you have friendships, develop friendships and relationships, even get married, I don't think it's okay really for you to get involved with someone who's not exactly like you. I mean, let's be honest, do you want to get involved with someone who's exactly like you? I wouldn't. I mean, that to me would get boring after a while. I would not want to be married to someone who is exactly like me. I wouldn't. Maybe some of you would, but I think that when it comes to, even with friendships, like even when you have your friends, you know, they're all a little different, and you all get along great. Because basically you should learn from each other. You know, like we are different to learn from each other. Yeah, to do things differently, to think differently. Because if everyone thinks the same and act the same in your group, it's gonna get boring after a while. You know, you're not gonna learn anything. You're gonna always do the same thing over and over and over again, because you all have the same beliefs, same ideas. So I think sometimes a little difference is good in your relationship. You know, you don't have to be exact. I don't think you should always be exactly alike. Just imagine you have, like, I have also noticed, like, for instance, I noticed that people who talk all the time, like constantly talk, we all know that person who talks all the time and they just seem like they're always talking. I have seen a lot of times when they get married, get in a relationship, they end up getting married to someone who doesn't talk a lot, because it's like a balance. I have noticed that. I have noticed it a lot. If she's louder, he seems to be quieter, and vice versa. It's not, and that's good, and that's a good thing. The whole idea is, like I said, for us to learn from each other. Maybe she can learn to be a little quieter and listen. Maybe he can learn to be more vocal. Because, let's be honest, a lot of times people who talk a lot, they have a hard time listening and hearing other people. Because I tell you, like I said, we all know those people who talk a lot. I mean a lot. I mean, I have been in situations where I'm getting ready to go somewhere, do something, and that one person who loves to talk will call. And I'm like, okay. And a lot of times I see who it is, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I hate to have that response. And so I'm like, they're talking, and I'm like, okay, I have to go. And they just keep going on and on and on. A lot of times I really do have to go. It's like, no, I have to go. Okay, I can't talk to you right now. And they just keep going and keep going and keep going. And it's like, oh my God. And a lot of times it's like, I should just hang up on them. And because there are people who are like that because they love the sound of their own voice, and they talk so much that you just can't get a word in. You know, they talk, but they don't listen. And so just imagine if just imagine if two people who like to talk, if they were married to each other. Yeah, I can imagine what that would be like. And maybe there are some people who are like that. But yeah, so like I said, a lot of times when I've seen it, I always seen like a lot of times if she talks a lot, he's not much of a talker, but they balance each other out. You know, because we are made different so we can complement each other. So differences can be good. It is good. Like I said, because we learn from each other. We balance each other. But yeah, but like I said, like if she talks a lot and he's not saying that much, really, she should learn by being around him, you know, how to listen. And if he doesn't talk a lot, he can learn from her how to talk more. So like I said, the whole idea is to balance each other. To balance. It's balance. That's what it is. So yes, like I say, you don't want to be with someone. Like I say, we all have our preference. But like if someone that's exactly like you, no. Like I think I'm amazing, but I don't want to be with someone that is exactly like me in certain things. Like we don't have to have like the same likes and dislikes and all that. You know, so like for instance, because the thing is, if you're with someone and if you like to eat the same thing like if they do all the time, I think you should be different, so that way you could try something different. Because if you're involved with someone who may eat stuff or eat something that you've never tasted, never ate before, you know, you are trying. If you go and just try something, you're learning from them. You say, okay, I've never done this, but I'm going to try it. So that's the whole idea. You know, that I think it is good that when you have friendship or relationship or whatever, that you can have someone or be involved with someone who's not exactly the same as you, have the same likes as you or dislikes as you, so you can learn from them and try new things, try different things. So I think that's good. But like I said, that's not being unequally yoked. Unequally yoked has to do more with your religious belief. You know, and so as we see in I think it's in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 6 and 14, they talk about believers and unbelievers, like especially in a relationship, because like, let's just say, if you are a Christian and they are an atheist, I mean, like, what's gonna happen when, like, you wanna go to church and they don't have anything to do with it? You know, you might want to celebrate Christmas or something like that, and they don't have anything to do with it. Sometimes it can cause issues. A lot of times it does cause issues, especially once you start having children. A lot of people's like, okay, so what are we going to raise the children to believe in? And so it can cause issues. It can definitely cause issues, like, especially for, like I said, you have your relationship with God or whatever, and that's considered your light. Like say, what does light have to do with darkness? Nothing. There's nothing. They have nothing in common. There's nothing there in their belief. So if you're walking in light and that person walking in darkness, you're going to have some kind of conflict. You're not going to be able to walk in agreement. And so that is what he's pretty much speaking about, and that was the whole idea about intermarry, do not intermarry with these other people. You know, because they're going to draw you away. They're going to draw you into the darkness. They're going to pull you away from the truth. You know, you're going to be unequally yoked. You want to go right. They want to go left. You're not walking in agreement. You're going two separate directions. And so a lot of time what some people would do is they would give up what they believe in to follow that person. And then you're both going in the wrong direction, or in the direction that you just wasn't raised in. Like I said, and a lot of times it can cause issues. But yeah, so that's some of the things that I'm going to be talking about. Like I said, it's a lot to cover, so I'm not going to cover all of it right now. I'm just like, this is more like an introduction. But so yeah, so make sure you guys stay tuned, you know, to look for more of this series or what I'm going to be talking about. Like I said, I might do it live. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. So I'll let you know. But anyway, so yeah, so make sure you stay tuned. And like, when you subscribe, make sure you click the notification bell so you can know when I've uploaded the video. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about what I said so far? What do you want to hear about the relationship, about being unequally yoked and intermarriage? Like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with marriage. That's how you're raised. Not interracial marriage. That's not what he was saying. You should not do. You know, like I said, a lot of people try to use that to say it means that when it doesn't. But anyway, so yeah, so I just wanted to come out and just share this with you and let you know what's coming up, what I'm going to be discussing. And I hope you guys are going to tune in and watch. Yes, like I said, you guys give me your ideas. Let me know what you believe in. And I would discuss it. We would discuss it. But anyway, so yes, so. Well, see, time just go by so fast. It just go by so fast. So yeah, so I know I'm going to be doing, this is going to be a long series. But anyway, so yes, so I hope you guys will take the time to watch these videos. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. But anyway, so yes, so I will let you guys go. Thank you for taking time to watch, especially those of you who watch to the end. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again to all my recent subscribers. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll continue to pray for you guys and think of you. And so grateful for each and every one of you. All right, you guys. I will be talking to you soon. Love you much. Be blessed.